before I became a Christian, my thoughts about God and religion was that I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how we were here. I wasn't sure which religion was right. When I grew up, we went to church every once in a while, and every once in a while we visit different churches, and never really stuck with one. And in the back of my head, I felt like I knew that there was something, that we were created, that we weren't here just by accident, but I wasn't sure what was right. And sometimes I remember laying in bed at night and just wondering, what am I here for? What's this all about? What's the reason that I'm alive? And one day, the neighborhood that I grew up in, ever since I was a kid, my parents, they were buying a new house and we were moving. And it was really tough on me, but we moved out of the neighborhood, and after we moved, I was away from my friends that I grew up with, but I started to meet new friends, and these friends, they went to a church. They went to the youth group, teenagers. And so I was meeting them, and they were going to the church, so I went with them. So we went, and when we went there, I remember that the pastor was leading praise and worship. She was playing a guitar, and she was singing and praising the Lord. And I'd never really done that before. And when I first went there, I would, make jokes, flirt with girls. I made out with a girl, in a back room, I was there I'm saying that to say I was there for all the wrong reasons. And this time she was leading praise and worship, and I just started crying and crying and crying. And I remember thinking to myself, why are you crying? It was like it was coming out of me, but I didn't understand. In my head, I didn't know what was going on. And my friend next to me was crying too. We were both just really weeping. I've never really done that before. And but I was just thinking about God. I was thinking about everything I'd ever done. I felt like everything was all starting to become clear to me. And I gave my life to the Lord. And it turned my life completely around. It changed everything about me. Everyone that knows me before and after, they recognize the difference that's happened in my life. The difference of the person I used to be and the person I became. And I remember I had teachers that acknowledged that because this one teacher, I used to drive crazy, and when I got saved, I became a new person. And at the end of the year, I asked her, and she said that she could see the difference. And I remember asking my mom one time, just saying, Mom, everything you've seen happen in my life, do you believe that's something that I could have done just because I wanted to be a better person, or do you feel like God's really done something in my life? And she said that she could see that God had done that in my life. And so then, after all that, God's done a big thing in my life, and He's changed my life and turned my life around. And it's changed everything about my goals, what I'm living for, what I was looking for, the kind of relationships I would have. It's caused me to impact other people's lives. I grew up with asthma. And I remember one time, actually a couple times in church, when they would talk about praying for the sick, I went up and I got prayed for about that asthma. And I didn't remember the exact moment, but one day I realized that I hadn't used my asthma inhaler anymore. And growing up, I could never run 1 mile without stopping and having an asthma attack. And after I got prayed for it, I realized that I never had to use my asthma inhaler anymore. I decided I wanted to start running. And so I signed up for the Gate River Run, which is 9.4 miles. And I just started running, like Forrest Gump. I just started running. And first it was a half a mile, then it was a mile, then it was 2 miles. And the next thing you know, I've done the River Run for the past couple years, 9.4 miles. I've also done the half marathon on Thanksgiving Day here every year for the past 3 years. That's 13.1 miles. And I remember that day, I remember it was a couple times I went up for prayer about asthma, and I just never had to use my inhaler again. There's other people whose lives that I've impacted, and their lives, I know some of them that I could think about their stories, and that their lives would never be the same. And if it wouldn't have been for what God did in my life, then those moments wouldn't have happened. And I remember my friend that was sitting next to me that day when she was leading praise and worship, and I gave my life to the Lord. And he was sitting next to me, and we were both praising the Lord. And that friend, he went on to actually kill three people from our school over something drug related, and he's in jail now. And I just think about the different path that our lives took, the different directions that our lives took. I mean, he murdered 3 people, and I just thank God for His grace, and I know that what He's doing in my life right now, with my wife and with my daughter, and how He's just shifted my whole focus about what's important and what's not important, and I'm thankful for that. And becoming a Christian, being born again, it's an experience. It's a born again experience. It's not just deciding that, hey, I just want to start going to church, or hey, I want to be a better person. The Bible says that you become born again. You become born again. And old things pass away, all things are created new. And so I just want to take the time and share my born again experience, and I hope that others will do the same. Thank you.
Now I got my hands up like I got the answer. Hating is a cancer. Got a chance to see that light, cause I was picturing that death like a camera at a crime scene, and the victim is my flesh. Bleh.